So we're coming out here today to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, as was once delivered 2,000 years ago. We come out here with concern that the message of Christ has been changed, since Jesus first gave it. I think, sometimes it's important to take a step back from all the things you see, in church today. Take a step back from the big get-togethers and potlucks. Take a step back from the game nights, the movie nights. Take a step back from the concerts, from even just like the worship service and stuff like that, the Bible studies. Take a step back, and what was it that Jesus Christ came to deliver 2,000 years ago? What did he come in and teach? What was his purpose here on earth? I think one of the best ways to do that, the best ways to get out what's the heart, what Jesus was trying to teach us, is to go back to the Sermon on the Mount and to see what Jesus Christ himself taught, right? And this is what we just want to share, the gospel of Jesus as he spoke it. Jesus said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." He said, "Blessed are they that mourn, for they will be comforted." He said, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." He said, "Blessed are they that do hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled." He said, "Blessed are the merciful, for they will obtain mercy." He said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God." He said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God." He said, "Blessed are those that are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." He said, "Blessed are you when men revile you, when they persecute you, when they speak all kinds of evil against you for my name's sake." He said, "Rejoice, be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so did they persecute the prophets which were before you." He said, "You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt has lost its savor, with what shall it be seasoned? It is from then on good for nothing, but to be cast out, and to be trodden under the foot of men." He said, "You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do men light a candle and then put it under a cover, but they put it on a candlestick, and it gives light to everyone that's in the house. So let your light so shine before men, that they might see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven." He said, "Do not think that I came to destroy the law or the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For truly I say to you, unless heaven and earth pass away, one jot or one tittle will by no means pass from the law, until everything is fulfilled. Therefore, whoever hears these teachings of mine," and he said, those that do these teachings will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. But those that would not teach these things would be called least in the kingdom of heaven. He said, "Truly I say unto you that unless your righteousness would exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees," he said, "you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven." You will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven. And Jesus Christ went on and he began to teach what true righteousness was. Jesus Christ said that you've heard that it was said by them of old time, "You shall not murder, and whoever murders is in danger of the judgment." But he said, I say unto you, that whoever is angry at his brother without cause is in danger of the judgment." And he said, "Whoever says to his brother, Raka, is in danger of the council. And whoever says, you fool, is in danger of hellfire. Jesus went on and said, you've heard that it has been said, you should not commit adultery. But Jesus said, I say unto you, that whoever looks upon a woman to lust after her has committed adultery with her already in his heart. And therefore, if your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out and cast it away from you. For it is profitable for you that one of your members should perish, and not that your whole body would be cast into hell. He said, and if your hand causes you to sin, cut it off, cast it away from you. For it is profitable for you that one of your members would perish, and not that your whole body would be cast into hell. In another place he added on, where the worm does not die, the fire is not quenched. Moreover, it has been said, whoever wants to divorce his wife, he can write her a certificate of divorce and send her away. But Jesus said, I say unto you that whoever divorces his wife, except for the cause of fornication, the sexual immorality, causes her to commit adultery. And whoever marries her who is divorced commits adultery. He said, you've heard that it has been said not to swear falsely, but you should perform your oaths to the Lord. But Jesus went on and said not to even swear at all, but to let your yes be yes and your no be no. He said, you've heard that it has been said that you should an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But he said, I say unto you, do not resist an evil person. Do not resist an evil person. But whoever should slap you on one cheek, turn to him the other also. And whoever sues you at the law to take away your cloak, your tunic, let him have your cloak as well. He said, when someone compels you to go 1 mile, go with him 2. He said, give to everyone that asks of you, and from him that would borrow from you, wants to borrow from you, don't turn him away. He said, you've heard that it has been said that you should love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But Jesus went on and even said that we are to love our enemies. We are to bless those that hate us, to pray for those that persecute us, to love those that spitefully use us and abuse us. He said that you might be children of your Father who is in heaven. You know, Jesus went on and he gave instruction on how to pray in secret, to fast in secret, to give to the poor in secret. He taught about how to pray. He taught about not to store up money here on earth. He said, do not lay up for yourself treasure on earth, where moth and rust corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. He said, because where your treasure is, that's where your heart will be. Where your treasure is, that's where your heart will be. He said, no servant can serve 2 masters. Either he will love one and hate the other, or he will be loyal to the one and despise the other. He said you cannot serve God and money. You know, he went on and he said, therefore do not worry about your life, but to seek first heavenly things. Seek first heavenly things. And then all of these things like food and clothing and shelter will be added to you. In fact, he didn't even mention shelter. He went on and taught not to judge hypocritically. That you should first take the log out of your own eye, and then you can see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. You know, and I want to, you know, then zoom in and quote what he said at the end. He said, enter in at the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the path that leads to destruction, and there are many there be that enter that way. He said, how narrow is the way, how difficult is the path that leads to life, and there are few who find it. He said, beware of false prophets who dress themselves up like sheep, but are inside are ravening wolves. He said, you will know them by their fruit. He said, a good tree cannot bear a bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. And he said, every tree that does not bring forth good fruit is cut down and is thrown into the fire. He said, not everyone that says unto me, Lord, Lord, will enter into the kingdom of heaven, but only he that does the will of my Father which is in heaven. I'm going to repeat that again so you can get the seriousness of what Jesus is saying. Not everyone who says unto me, Lord, Lord, will enter into the kingdom of heaven, but only he that does, D-O-E-S, does the will of my Father which is in heaven. And if you think about the context, he's talking about the teachings that he gave on the Sermon on the Mount, the types of teachings that are on this banner, front and back. He said, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven unless you do the will of the Father who is in heaven. He said, for many on that day will say, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name? And in your name cast out devils? In your name done many marvelous works? And he will say to them, depart from me, I never knew you, you workers of iniquity, you workers of lawlessness. He said, therefore, he that hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him unto a wise man that built his house upon the rock. The rains came, the floods came, and beat upon that house, and it did not fall, because it was founded upon the rock. But he said, he that hears my sayings and does not do them, I will show you whom he is like. I will show you whom he is like. He is like the foolish man who built his house upon sand. The rains came, the floods rose, beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. So out of all the things that Jesus Christ could have preached on when his disciples gathered up on that mountain, these were the things that Jesus thought it necessary to teach. And you'll find it very revealing that at the end of his sermon, he did not say a prayer. At the end of his sermon, he did not say, believe that this is true and you'll be in my kingdom. He said, do these things and you will be in my kingdom.